Hey everyone, this is Leo with Mastering Myself. Today I wanted to react on this video, how to be more disciplined, six ways to master self-control. Let's go over this together, see what he says, and let's just react and answer not any questions obviously, but just give our own opinion to what we think, what this is, what he says is. Let's see what we got here.
Discipline. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I do want to take a
Let's start
brief
from the
moment.
beginning.
Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to be covering 6 important strategies for improving your level of self-discipline. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I do want to take a brief moment to define what exactly self-discipline is, because when I...
Okay. So right off the bat, he starts with probably describing what his thought is on self-discipline. My thought on self-discipline is something that you accomplish on a daily basis. It's not something that comes overnight, and to me, it's something that you need to work on every single day. You don't need to achieve it all in one day because habits, as I heard this say, habits get built in 30 days, or you can build a habit in 30 days. You can lose the habit that you formed in just one day. So let's see what he says.
asked you guys to tell me about your problems with discipline on Twitter the other day, I got a lot of answers ranging from motivation to distractions to cell phone addiction, all kinds of things in between. And while all these answers are legitimate problems, I don't think that all of them fit neatly into the category of self-discipline.
I agree. Those are all behavioral. Yeah, I'm saying that wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think those are what those are.
Where they do fit is in the broader category of behavior change, and that is the big goal for most of us. We want to change our behaviors to be more aligned with our goals and our long-term desires. And when it comes to that general mission to change our behaviors, I see 4 main areas that we need to focus on, one of which is the cultivation of self-discipline, which we're
It's true. Self-discipline is the center of pretty much everything that goes on in your life. To be able to achieve anything that you set your mind to, you need to have the self-discipline for sure.
going to tackle in this video, but also the building of new habits, which can make that behavior automatic, the customization of our environment, which can remove roadblocks and...
Yeah, removing roadblocks and help us resist temptation. That is a huge thing, especially when you're home alone, you know. It is very hard to stay motivated, or not particularly stay motivated, but stay disciplined, I guess. Because you see your couch, you see your bed, and you just want to go lay down. You know, you're home alone, or maybe you're not doing much that day. You don't have a lot of chores to do, and the first thing you want to do is just be on your phone. Want to watch YouTube, want to watch, be on Facebook, Instagram, and all those things, and all those platforms. And it makes it very difficult. So removing things like that. No, I'm not saying remove your bed or remove your couch, but trying to be in a place where you can just be focused on what you're doing without any distractions. It's a game changer.
and help us resist temptations by basically removing them, and of course the consumption of as much Brondo as possible, since it is the thirst mutilator. But as you may have guessed, this video is only about that first area, self-discipline. And where I want to start is by asking and answering 2 questions. Number 1, what exactly is self-discipline? And number 2, how does it differ from motivation? Because I think a lot of people get these 2 terms confused. To start,
It's true.
I want to share a quote from the writer Samuel Thomas Davies, because it actually answers both of those questions in a pretty tidy way. Self-discipline is about leaning into resistance, taking action in spite of how you feel, living life by design, not by default. But most importantly, it's acting in accordance with your thoughts, not your feelings. Put another way, motivation is your
That's a pretty cool quote. I like it.
overall level of desire to do something, whereas discipline is your ability to do it regardless of how you feel. And for any of you who've ever woken up thinking, I don't feel like it, which is all of you,
Oh my gosh, isn't that all of us? Like he just said, we all wake up with like, oh, I don't feel like doing this today. I don't feel like doing my chores. I don't feel like doing dishes. I don't feel like going put gas in the car. Oh man, I don't feel like showering too, or anything like that. It's the hardest thing to get out of your system. Is I don't feel like doing this, just because I personally believe, your brain is just wired to settle, to keep you comfortable in wherever you are. So it is definitely a challenge to get that out of your system.
you, myself included, you can see now how important self-discipline is. It's building that baseline that allows you to act in accordance with your long-term goals, no matter how motivated you feel. So with that being said, let's cover 6 important strategies for building your self-discipline. We're going to start with one that doesn't seem very tangible or actionable at first, but stick with me here because this is a mindset shift that I found more helpful than any other self-improvement technique I've tried.
Yeah, just a little thing that he said, mindset shift. Personally, if you're already watching this video, wanting to change your mindset, you need to give yourself a reward for that because that's where it starts, your self-discipline. You changing your mind and wanting to do something new for yourself, for your family, or for whoever, or for whatever reason, that's where that's where you need to give yourself credit because you're willing to do that. And if even if you don't achieve something today, you already started the process of changing your mindset. So keep that in mind.
In recent memory.
I love the llama.
To put it
It's
simply,
awesome.
when you're trying to change your behavior, forget about the goal you're trying to achieve, the external outcome, and instead focus on the change in identity you want to happen. This is a concept that I first read about in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend, by the way. And there's this passage near the beginning of the book that really encapsulates it well, so I'm just going to read it to you here. Imagine 2 people resisting a cigarette. When offered to smoke, the first person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." It sounds like a reasonable response, but this person still believes they are a smoker who is
That makes sense. They still believe that they're a smoker because they're trying to say, I'm trying to change. Or what do you say? No thanks, I'm trying to quit. So he's saying already, I'm trying to quit. That statement alone is pretty much him identifying himself that, hey, I'm still a smoker. Um, so changing the way you see things, you know, it could tell you that alone can tell you, hey, I'm still within this circle that I'm trying to break. But let's see what else he
quit.
says.
It sounds like a reasonable response, but this person still believes they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. They're
Yeah.
hoping that their behavior will change while carrying around the same beliefs. The second person declines by saying, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker."
See, this person already changed his mindset. It's completely changed. He is already saying, I'm not a smoker. So he's believing and he's putting it out there to the world that he's not a smoker at all. I like that.
It's a small difference, but this statement signals a shift in identity. Smoking was a part of their former life, not their current one. They no longer identify as someone who smokes.
Right.
So the general idea here is that once you've
So like for our daily example, I guess, right, our daily lives, I would probably be like, hey, I'm trying to work out. No, um, trying will not get me anywhere. I'm going to work out, pretty much, and just believe that you're doing it, and go get it done.
embrace the change in your identity, you're going to find yourself acting in alignment with that change. And if you're wondering why exactly this happens, the 3rd chapter of Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, has a great explanation for it. Essentially, humans feel this natural
Commitment and
compulsion to
consistency.
act consistently with their past decisions.
There's this quote, or not a quote, but a video about Denzel Washington, and he says, "Without commitment, we will never finish it," or something like that. And without commitment, we will never start. Without consistency, we will never finish. I think it was something like that.
As he writes in the book, once we have made a choice or taken a stand, we will encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. Those pressures will cause us to respond in ways that justify our earlier decision. And shifting my mindset in this way has been incredibly helpful in the past couple of months. And the first way that I implemented it was by starting to think of myself as an athlete. Now, I've always been a pretty active person, and I've had a laundry list of athletic goals on my website for quite a long time now, but I never really took the leap and started thinking of myself as an athlete. And there was some imposter syndrome reasons for this. But
I think what he's trying to get at is pretty much think of yourself as as the person that you want to be. Right? For example, for me, myself, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I want to be successful in life, financially free. So I'm already acting as if I'm that person. And I think that's what he's trying to imply here.
But after reading that passage in the book, I decided to take the leap and start thinking of myself as an athlete, not just as somebody who does active things. And that shift in mindset has done wonders for my levels of self-discipline. And
It does. To be honest with you, I when you change your mindset, you shift it like just like he's saying right now. It does wonders to your self-discipline because then you start acting like that person and your daily duties, like your goals, your to-do list becomes what you say you are.
many different areas, from going to the gym more consistently, to training harder while I'm there, to even improving my diet, which has been a lot better than it used to be over the past couple of months. So seriously, if you take nothing else from this video, I'm putting this first for a reason. Start thinking about behavior change in terms of the identity that you want to embody rather than the goals that you want to achieve.
Great, create reminders.
All right, strategy.
With creating reminders, I have a YouTube video um, about goal settings. And with that, I added that at the morning that you wake up, you write yourself your goals, right? So that's written it down in a reminder. At the end of the night, you write yourself another set of goals on your journal, and that's another reminder for the next day, or to sleep with a thought of your goal. And creating reminders even on your phone, like an alarm, just putting at 7 p.m. or something, hey, make dinner or make lunch for tomorrow, prep meal or something like that, that will go a long way.
Number two is to frequently remind yourself of why you're being disciplined in the first place. At the end of the day, we have to have a strong why for our actions if we want to do them consistently. And every time I think about this concept, I'm reminded of a story about the actor Jim Carrey. And it goes like this. After he had arrived in Hollywood and he was still kind of an impoverished actor, one day he took out a napkin and he drew himself a check made out to himself for $10 million and posted.
I have actually heard this story from Jim Carrey. He wrote himself a check for $10 million. He put it in his wallet, and every time he he would go to an audition or something, he would wake up to do work, he would open his wallet, he would look it up, and there's a $10 million check that he wrote to himself. And funny enough, years later, he got the part of Dumb and Dumber and got a $10 million check. It's pretty awesome. It's like the law of attraction. You ask, you believe, you receive.
Stated for 10 years in the future. And then he put that check in his wallet so that every time he'd bring out his wallet, he could see it and remind himself of why he was working so hard, what he was working towards. And this is something that you might find very helpful to do as well. Try writing down your goal or the identity you want to assume and put it maybe on a sticky note next to your desk or by your computer so you can see it every single day and know that this is why I'm building my self-discipline. This is the reason for all the work I'm putting in.
That could be really hard, I'm not gonna lie. I used to have sticky notes at work about my goal, right? What I wanted to be. But it was also challenging to see that goal and being at work at the same time because it would kind of demotivate me what I was doing now versus what I could be doing. So you got to identify that early in your journey so you don't get demotivated or you don't start slacking saying I could do better because you will do better. It's just a matter of time. That's all.
All right, strategy number 3 is to find ways to embrace discomfort and embrace the resistance you feel towards doing something that takes hard work or that's unpleasant. Just like going to an actual gym and lifting weights makes you better at lifting weights in the future and able to lift more weight the next time you go in, every time you embrace discomfort, you are essentially doing a rep of the exercise that is self-discipline because it is a skill that can be learned. It is a muscle that can be built over time. This is why I'm such a proponent of taking cold.
It's true. Self-discipline doesn't get built overnight. It's just steps every single day until it becomes a habit.
Showers, because a cold shower is something that most people don't want to do. It's not very comfortable standing underneath that stream of ice cold water.
Cold shower can definitely help, by the way. I do that sometimes, not every single day, but I within 10 seconds after being in the shower, I do cold water for 10 seconds. And then towards the end, before I get out, I do 10 seconds of cold shower. It definitely helps.
And that's the point. Every morning that you get into the shower and you choose to turn that handle to cold instead of hot, you are embracing discomfort. You're leaning into the resistance, and that makes you better at doing so in the future, regardless of what the task is. So as you go through your daily life, find ways to embrace discomfort. It could be cold showers, it could be signing up for a 6 a.m. ROTC fitness class, it could be taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Basically, whenever your brain throws up that "I don't feel like it" excuse, that is an opportunity to build that self-discipline muscle. You should take it.
There was this sign in my old company that it said, "There's no elevators in success." So right next to the elevator, there was a door that had the stairs to go all the way up. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the times I took the stairs, but there were just some days that the elevator was needed. But anyways, that's just a good example, and this is something that came to my head.
Okay, we are on to item number 4 of our list, which is to target the fundamentals first. And by the fundamentals, I mean the biological necessities of life: your sleep, your nutrition, and your exercise habits.
Those are crucial, like he says right here. These are crucial. These are all crucial to pay attention to. It is very true. You need to sleep. You need to get some rest so you can actually work the next day. You can actually do what you set yourself to. The other thing was food, right? You need your nutrition. Drinking, for me personally, drinking soda every day definitely kills my back, and it's not good for me. But I still do it, which is obviously my problem. But um, it definitely helps to keep that in mind. And following with that is just your exercises, right? It's really helpful when it comes to shaping up your future for yourself.
These are all crucial to pay attention to because the part of your brain that handles executive functioning, the part that regulates your desires and your impulses, requires a lot of energy and regular rest to function at peak levels. Always remember that you are first and foremost a collection of biological systems, all of which require the right inputs if you want to get the best outputs out of them. And I know, it's easy to picture the brain as separate from all of this, as existing in this metaphysical realm where the only needed fuel sources are motivation, and determination, and wholesome memes. But the brain needs rest, and it needs exercise, and it needs the right balance of nutrients just as the rest of your body does. So if you're sleep deprived, which judging from the amount of views on this video, you probably are, or you haven't gotten enough exercise regularly, or your diet is crap, that is where you should focus your discipline first.
Practice says.
And that brings us to our 5th item on the list, and it pains me to say this one because I personally hate doing it, but you may want to try meditation. And the reason
Meditation is amazing. I used to do it when I started my day trading career. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do 5 to 10 minutes every morning, and it seriously is amazing. I didn't do it anymore because then I'm pretty sure I would have fallen asleep. But 5 to 10 minutes every morning, doing meditation, it's just so good for your brain. It's just focusing on your breathing by itself. You know, your brain starts organizing your thoughts. And instead of being all over the place, your thoughts will be organized, you'll feel more at peace, and it's just amazing. I suggest you try it.
you might want to do this is that meditation has been shown scientifically to help people improve their levels of self-discipline. In fact, a 2013 study at Stanford University showed that people who went through compassion training, which was a specific meditation program, were better able to regulate their emotions afterwards. And this is crucial for remaining disciplined and being able to make rational decisions. Now, an easy way to get started would be by using guided meditation, which you can use through apps like Headspace and Calm, or through many free videos here on YouTube.
Just so you know, I do have another YouTube channel actually that it's just for guided meditation music. Um, this music is amazingly peaceful. You know, they're like hour longs videos of music. I suggest you listen to it. It's going to be in the description below, but I I don't focus on like someone guiding me to do meditation, like someone telling me breathe in, breathe out, think about this, think about that. I let my brain do all of that by itself. I just focus on the breathing. And it's better to get in a habit of you controlling your own brain than having someone else tell you what to do in your meditation. That's just my personal opinion, but everybody has their own way of dealing with it. So let's see what else he says.
But the form of meditation that I've always practiced, which I think is better for the development of self-discipline specifically, is a form of what's called Zazen meditation, where I simply sit and concentrate on my breath with my eyes closed. And when my attention is inevitably pulled away by a random thought, I work to notice that and let that thought go, and then bring my attention.
Okay, so this happens a lot, and this did happen a lot to me when I was meditating. Random thoughts would come to my head. He uses that technique of just letting go, like focusing back to the meditation and controlling his breathing. Personally, I like to investigate what my thought was, because if that thought came to me while I was at peace, then it meant something. That's just my opinion. It meant something, and I need to investigate while my mind is at peace. And I have that undivided attention to just focus on that thought. A lot of thoughts while meditating came to me about businesses, starting businesses, and how to be successful and things like that. So, personally, again, it's just my opinion. It helps me control better my own thoughts, just by investigating and not just by putting it on the side like another problem and keep going with my day.
Back to my breath. And doing this over the long term has helped with both self-discipline and concentration. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of meditation. It's probably the self-development practice that I hate doing the most, but the benefits of doing so are undeniable.
Build some habits.
And that brings us to our final item on the list, which is to practice building new habits. Now, like I said earlier, building new habits is kind of a separate discipline in the overall pursuit of changing your behavior. But the initial stages of building a new habit often require self-discipline because the behavior isn't automatic yet. So this can be a great way to not only establish a new habit, but become more disciplined in the process. Now, I've got an entire video on building new habits coming up for you guys in the next couple of weeks. But until then, remember that for whatever habit.
Okay, so I think he's actually finishing up with the video. Just so we are clear, I don't know who this guy is. He's Thomas Frank, but I will definitely give him credit, obviously, on my YouTube channel because I'm just reacting to what he's saying and just giving my own opinion. Everything that was in his channel, I'm not affiliated with, so any sponsors that he has, I'm not affiliated with it. So again, I'm just reacting to his video. It was pretty awesome, to my opinion. I definitely, probably, most likely will subscribe to his channel because I like what he was saying, and just go from there. Share your thoughts, what you guys were thinking as we went through this video. Every time I post it, just you share or you tell yourself what you were thinking, what you thought on discipline and all this stuff. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it if you need to. I appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one.